For that youth, I mean, Enugu is a buzz. Even if you don't see, you hear. Yeah. In other words, everyone knows that something is happening today. For the youth on the street wondering, how does this help me? Or in Niger parlance, who that one help? Speak to Ndi Enugu or the youth of Enugu, how this will either now or in the future be beneficial to them.
So I'm glad you raised this. And what we hope to achieve in the summit, Diaspora and Investment Summit, coming up first quarter of next year, would be transaction closures. So if you will, FID, final investment decisions. So we expect to be having handshakes, closing transactions. And what we've started to do is to, in our pipeline, we have an investment potential of about $2.1 billion. And we're expecting to have a closure of that figure by the first quarter of next year, so to close on these areas. So right now, what you're going to see in this roundtable is the financial institutions talking to us about how they think we can retweak the proposal we have on the table to make it bankable and to make it attractive. And we're going to be working with them to de-risk it, to take out the bottlenecks, and to ensure that it's attractive to, for a closure by next year, first quarter.
Okay, this is indeed beautiful, Your Excellency. It was a brilliant keynote you just delivered. There are those, however, that are of the opinion that most of such events, unfortunately, end at the realms of being, if you like, a talk show. That's where it ends. Recommendations, insights, as you've mentioned, when they are shared, not much, happens in terms of the translation of those. In your opinion, I mean, it's a huge vision. How is this positioned to be different from that?
Thank you. First of all, we have to be deliberate. My background is business and entrepreneurship. And that's essentially what these programs are. They are not talk shops at all. They are serious business, and they are designed to prepare the project to bankability.
Great. You made a promise to lead Enugu from where it is to, I believe, to be the top 3 states, actually, yes, in Nigeria. Yes, and in terms of GDP. You also have mentioned that you'd like to bring the poverty rate to 0%.
That's correct.
Security and peace, they are top on your agenda. Yeah. How do you hope to achieve this? Are we in line? Is this all part of it?
We are very much in line.
You are indeed a strategy and innovation expert. You see, as we come close to the end of this interview, there are a few more questions that are critical. Sometimes we say it's the little things that actually matter or that make a lot of meaning. By that, I mean, you promised that water will flow within 180 days. And for those who have been following activities of Enugu, some have even made memes out of it. You see, water is coming, water is flowing. So that's beautiful. On the one hand, for this event, at most events, Your Excellency, the event never kicks off when they say it will kick off. But for some reason, like clockwork, this happened at exactly 12:30, the national anthem came on. That, I just thought to put that out, that is beautiful in itself. But going to the other question, for those who are viewing, who are watching right now, and for those who have the opportunity of playing this over and over again, and for those who would want to say, okay, we're going to wait for you when this time comes, but especially for investors, potential investors. You're a private sector person, you're bringing it all to bear in the public sphere. Help some of those still struggling with making up their minds as to why Enugu. You've highlighted a few of them, but this one goes directly to them. Why Enugu? Why invest in Enugu at this time?
So there are several reasons you must come to Enugu as your #1 destination for investment. First of all, we've talked about the issue of peace and security, which is #1 on our priority, and we've tackled that frontally. And as I said, Enugu is today arguably the most peaceful and secure state to invest in. The other thing, with the other measures we've put in place, still in the area of security, as you may already have noticed, if you look around the state, we have the distress response squad team. And that is also a team that is on, highest level of alert. So what we've done we've done a whole lot of investment in that space, including deploying technology also. So what it is we cannot have any breach, any security breach in the state that we cannot identify, pursue the culprits, and also bring them to justice. Get those bottlenecks out of the way so that businesses can flow. So we're creating the enabling environment. So even though we know this growth will come from private sector, we're also mindful that it has to be enabled by government. Right. So it's going to be government-enabled, but private sector-driven growth.
And that's the PPP partnership we're talking about?
Correct.
Okay, you have there's the $2.1 billion projects pipeline, I believe, covering different areas. I mean, correct. Health, transportation, aviation, power, energy, you name it. For that youth, I mean, Enugu is a buzz. Even if you don't see, you hear. Yeah. In other words, everyone knows that something is happening today. For the youth on the street wondering, how does this help me? Or in Niger parlance, who that one help? Speak to Ndi Enugu or the youth of Enugu, how this will either now or in the future be beneficial to them.
So I'm glad you raised this because, we, beyond just focusing on the growth of our economy, we're also mindful of eradicating poverty. And that would come from creating wealth and generating employment. And essentially, who are the targets? The target for us are the youth. And we have designed programs that will see us upskilling our youth, over 40,000 of them, equipping them with ICT skills every year. And for practical skills too, we also have designed programs that will see us churning 10,000 young people through that pipeline every year on the practical skill side. So, and it's important that the young people understand the connection when we talk about private sector. Because, government cannot create jobs. We have limitations. So, but we can create the environment where private sector can flourish, where our young people, and we're also doing a lot in the ICT space.
Finally, Your Excellency, naturally, tomorrow is always a day away.
Yeah.
But in a disruptive thinking, all thanks to you, you've said that tomorrow is here. Yeah. What exactly does this mean? And is this what's happening today and that would happen next year? Is it all in line with that promise you made that tomorrow is here?
So it speaks to two things. One is, recall when you could be, there was something known as student syndrome. Okay. So when you're given assignment, you try to procrastinate and keep procrastinating. I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And then you can then say to someone, tomorrow is here. Okay. So there's it's right here with you. So for us, it means there is no more room for procrastination, okay? We must start today, okay? And it also has another leg to it. What does that tomorrow we're talking about, what does it hold for you? So that's the question. So you want to wake up 4 years from now. What tomorrow do you want to wake up into 4 years from now? So we want to provoke our young people, we want to rouse them up, to challenge them, to start imagining what that tomorrow. So we've taken time to unpack that tomorrow for them. And this is the tomorrow I had just explained to you. Tomorrow where our young people will be digitally skilled, where they would have all the skills required to deal with the emerging future.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Your Excellency. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.